Now, reviewing atheism in antiquity again, this guy said, everything that exists in the universe is a result of either a chance or necessity. And he pulled that out of his ass. That circular reasoning is dumber than saying that a cat typed all of this unintentionally. To believe that all order comes from chaos is like being gullible enough to believe the claim that someone won the lottery over 9,000 times without getting it wrong once, without even registering for it. The ancient atheist Democritus also said, men should strive to think much and know little. He hit the bullseye on the second goal. The medieval era. In the game of the Middle Ages, Age of Empires 2, which I did realistic maps of, meaning it is time for a non-commercial break, pseudo-commercial break. Terra Dei, El Lago Español, the Spanish Lake, Eurasia, the Far East, Europa. In that game there is atheist propaganda by making the top tier Huns suffer from atheism. But they were not atheists. They worshipped Tengri, or many of them did, like the Mongol Empire. Notice, however, they say that spies and treason cost half as much in an atheist world, so they were right about treason being easier when you're an atheist. You can tell who owns a cow by her brand. The pyramid is alluded to or implied by that triangle in the Microsoft logo above. And all pyramids from Mesoamerica to Egypt to Indonesia are all memories and allusions to the Tower of Babel when mankind united against God under Satan. So that being on top of this stylistic representation of the Tower of Babel, the pyramid, is Satan. And it's the Antichrist, to be exact, because his incarnation, because Zechariah says that the Antichrist shall lose his right eye. So the Antichrist is symbolized by one eye, and that is the god of the Masons. They worship Antichrist, and the New World Order is about advancing the devil's agenda to make the world united under the Antichrist. Now, atheism is promoted in a game of the Middle Ages, which is totally irrelevant to the Middle Ages because virtually no atheist existed in the Middle Ages except babies. But that's because of the Protocols of Zion's agenda of pushing atheism. Protocol 4 says materialism replace religion. Protocol 9 says indoctrination. Protocol 12 says control the press, promoting atheism, such as by inviting atheists to preach atheism as if they have any merit. Protocol 14 says assault on religion. Everyone can see that everywhere. Protocol 16 says indoctrination by using the misnomer brainwashing. The brain can't think because it's a slave to physics, so it's impossible for the brain to be the thinker. Therefore, brainwashing is a misnomer, and also washing means cleaning, so why would it be cleaning when you're actually making it corrupt and dirtying it with lies? So that's a misnomer twofold. They say that the protocols are a hoax, but if they're a hoax, how come they fit reality perfectly? Also, they would accuse me of being an anti-Semite, but I worship a Jew, so I love his race more than you do, atheists. You don't worship a Jew, I do, so I love Jews more than you. How can I be an anti-Semite? The Torah says that God wanted to destroy the Jews because of their rebellion once. And Moses was like, God, please, don't do that. Have more mercy on them. So God spared them for the sake of Moses and the sake of God's name. So if I am anti-Semitic, then the Torah is anti-Semitic, which means that Judaism is anti-Semitic. Are you gonna tell me that Judaism is anti-Jewish? Because to be consistent, you'll have to do that if you're going to slander me as an anti-Semite, which I certainly am not. I love the Jews. Now, La Renaissance and thereafter. Too much overlap to neatly separate the items ahead. The rise of real science, especially after the Renaissance, gave Satan the opportunity to use that as bait to hide the hook of his pseudo-science. Real science? Sci-fi garbage. If you lack discretion, you will take all at once. You should throw the dirty bathwater out and keep the baby, not keep everything. And an example of sci-fi garbage is the time-exploded atheist myth, the Big Bang. Michio Kaku said, "No one knows who wrote the laws of physics or where they come from. Science is based on testable, reproducible evidence, and so far we cannot test the universe before the Big Bang." Before exposing the Big Bang myth, God willing, I will refute the assertion by many atheists who say that nature always existed, which is a lie that fits their prejudice against there being a creator, that is, accountability. The second law of thermodynamics says that energy disperses to where there is less, causing entropy, meaning that all of the energy is constantly spreading out until nature will arrive at heat death. Heat death means that there will be no concentration of energy anywhere in nature, making life impossible as well as movement. So before this point, the law did not apply, meaning that there had to be a lawgiver. For thousands of years, energy has been dispersing to where there is less. The behavior has never changed. Energy exists if its behavior exists, just as water cannot exist if it cannot become ice, liquid, or vapor. Then it would be something totally different, not water. Therefore, when the second law of thermodynamics began, that is when energy began, and by extension when the first law of thermodynamics began as well. And it stands to reason the rest of nature, for nature is a seamless robe, all things are connected. Therefore, it's like a web. So nature began to exist. Atheists' wishful thinking that no creator is needed is exposed as a lie. Atheists may try to refute God by the first law that says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but the law is just an observation of a system already in existence, so it does not mean no start. Hello, I'm House, an atheist. I will educate you now. This is called a snow globe. The snow inside is fake. The snow cannot be created. It also cannot be destroyed. Don't listen to the religitards. They'll say it was intended. I'll say they should shut up. Don't believe the conspiracy theory about intention here. You don't need intention for this. I found it with no creator, so there is no need for a creator. And since no one made it, it is up for grabs, mine now. I don't believe in copyright unless I see the author with my own soul-piercing eyes. Of course, I don't have a soul. Not that I'm a ginger. Huh? You mean to tell me that this was created by intelligence? Prove it. Huh? Logic is invisible? I believe in it because I see its effects, like my arguments inevitably working. I don't see intelligent design. This obviously came about by explosions and stuff plus time. You're asking me to prove it? 1 bar is for you. I don't have to prove it. You prove I don't have to. I have a double standard. I am the king of the cosmos. You are just an accident. I will beat you in a duel. But you don't get to block. I pull rights out of my ass. When you lie here dead, you will not go to heaven. There can't be a heaven, or there's a hell for me. Never. I will get away with being selfish when I die. After the duel. What? You created this? Thank you for forgiving me, but I still hate you. KO. You fell like a house of cards. The Big Bang myth. Its best evidence is redshift and cosmic microwave background radiation, which I'll cover. On redshift of distant starlight, the Big Bang is supposed to be the only rational explanation. However, because I questioned what I was taught, I found an explanation so much better that it makes the Big Bang obsolete. It's called diffraction. You see, the distant starlight is redshifted because it has to go through more space debris to get to us, and this means more energy loss from some of the light being deflected or having to go around things. The sunlight from this angle has to go through more of the atmosphere's debris to get to the observer, for example. This causes redshift. By the way, notice that the sun gives life, representing the creator. It dies every day, symbolically, and then resurrects. Also consider an eclipse, where the sun, representing God, takes the darkness, representing guilt, of the moon, representing man, made in God's image, for the moon is like a mini sun, and the moon is covered, representing salvation, by the sun's ring of light, representing righteousness of Jesus, God's avatar. So Christianity is shown in nature itself to be right, and no other religion and no other paradigm can compare. So a decrease in energy means redshift. They go hand in hand. Redshift means light losing energy. So it is inevitable that light from distant stars will redshift because space is not totally empty space. Therefore, diffraction is the necessary explanation for redshift. The Big Bang is perpetually superfluous. Redshift can occur by light moving away from you also, and this is why the establishment claims nature expands. But there are good reasons to reject their interpretation, which they dishonestly put forth as the only possibility in order to make you believe the Big Bang. But what is the Big Bang? It is the story that the cosmos suddenly exploded, including time itself. They will take issue with this term exploded, but only because it shows how stupid the myth is. Explosion. A violent expansion of energy and matter. The Big Bang. A violent expansion of energy and matter, plus time, which many people imagine occurred or occurs. They begin with a ball of matter, conveniently there. They don't explain the void it exists inside of, also conveniently there. Then magically, explosion. They say that what separates was actually coming together. That's a contradiction. Remember, this isn't a literal void with nothing in the way to make things bounce. How can a star form when nothing is coming together? They say gravity, but that clearly doesn't keep them together when they're close, let alone every moment they go farther and farther apart. Their 3D models depict the star formation, but that's science fiction. They can portray anything with CGI, doesn't prove anything. They expect you to blindly take them at their word, and most people do because most people are simpletons. You can be gullible, or you can reject this stupid shit. All gravity can do is bring the matter back to square one. They call it a big crunch. So no star, no cigar. This garbage is a ripoff of Hindu reincarnation cosmology. With a Hindu origin concocted by a Catholic and requiring blind faith, it's quasi-religious. Worse still, it involves another impossibility, time exploding. What is time? Well, that's for the next video. Bye for now.